Hello, welcome to this evening's video, which is going to be a book haul / triggers video. I have not done one of these for a really long time, and that is because I haven't really read that much. I have been reading, but it's taken me a while to actually get into a book. So then it's taken me a really long time to finish the book, because I always like to finish a book before I start another book unless I really dislike it. So there's not that much to show you. However, I will start with a book that I have read so I can tell you about it. And it is this one, which you may have seen in a video that I uploaded maybe before Christmas. I brought this to read over the festive period, as you can probably guess. So it is called Murder on the Christmas Express, and I love Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express. So when I saw this, I just had to get it. I actually wanted it the Christmas before, but I just never got around to getting it. Eight passengers, 7 stops, 1 killer. I really like the cover. It's very Christmassy. I have also read one of her books before, Alexandra Benedict, and it was the Christmas Murder Games, which was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed that book. Let me read you the back. In the early hours of Christmas Eve, the sleeper train to the Highlands is derailed, along with the festive plans of its travellers. But that is only the beginning of their problems. When the body of one of its passengers is discovered in the locked room of her cabin, all the evidence points to murder. With the train stuck in the snow in the middle of nowhere, it's up to former detective Ross Parker to find the killer before they strike again. But as the countdown to Christmas and their rescue begins, Ross discovers that there are many secrets on board this train and passengers with motives for murder. So, I did enjoy the book, but it was not what I was expecting. There is a kind of like a trigger warning in the beginning of the book. A content warning that readers might find some of the content triggering. I did see that. However, I wasn't expecting the book to be quite as serious as it was. The last book of hers that I read was about murder, but it was more casual and quite just laid back and easy to read. This one was a lot more serious, and that kind of took the enjoyment out of it for me, even though there is a trigger warning in it. I wasn't expecting it to be solely focused just on that story, if that made sense. So I enjoyed it, but nowhere near as much as I thought I was gonna, which was a shame. She does have another one, and it's called the Jigsaw Murder Games. Jigsaw Christmas Murder Games, something like that. And I'm gonna get that this Christmas and give that a go. So yeah. But I also just don't know if it's me going through a stage of just not enjoying reading that much. I'm not sure. I'll show you the book that I am currently reading, and that is Matthew Perry's memoirs, somewhat autobiography type. I wanted this for a while, and somebody did buy me the hardback for Christmas and they lost it, so they bought it me for the Christmas just gone. I love Matthew Perry. I absolutely love Friends. I know a little bit about his story and thought that if I started this book I would not be able to put it down, but I'm kind of having the same problem where I'm enjoying it, and it's very interesting to hear his thoughts and read about his stories in his life, but I thought I would not be able to put this down, but I can, and I can leave it for a few days. I don't think that's got any reflection on the book whatsoever. I'm not even halfway. I just think it's me. I just cannot get into reading at the minute, and that does happen. That has happened to me a few times where I will go 6 months, maybe a year without reading, and then start reading again and not be able to put books down, but it's not very often that happens because I love to read. Oops, it's very windy outside and I think something just blew and potentially got damaged. I apologise if you can hear the wind. I really do enjoy reading. It's a really good hobby. It's a really good time killer. So when you can't quite get into it, it's frustrating. It's very sad. His story and his thoughts. It's a shame. It is called Friends, Lovers and the Big Terrible Thing. I think this got released after his death, in paperback, and there was a little paragraph at the beginning by Lisa Kudrow, which is Phoebe from Friends, and that's a really touching paragraph to read as well. So yeah, this is what I'm currently reading. I'm more or less reading this just for like 20 minutes before I go to bed, but I thought after I've read that I will try and get myself a couple of good books to read to try and get me back into reading. So these have been on my list for a while. I got these off eBay. These are secondhand. And this one is called 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. Never read any of her books, but I think she has quite a few. And this sounds right up my street. 8 hours, 6 friends, 1 sniper. And let me read you the back. You can't see me, but I can see you. If you try to run, I will shoot. Red Kenny is on a road trip with 5 friends when their VR breaks down in the middle of nowhere. There is no accident. this is no accident. Someone is out there and someone wants one of them dead. With 8 hours until dawn, the 6 friends must escape or work out which one of them is the target. Buried secrets will be forced to light, and not everyone will survive the night. This sounds right up my street. I love these kinds of books. Road trip books and a VR. I've always wanted to do a road trip in a VR. This might put me off. I read a book, I don't think it was last year, it might have been the year before, and I think it was called The Hike or something very similar, and it was a group of girlfriends that holiday every year, and each one of them decide where to go. And this particular year, one of the characters decided to go for a hike, and tragedy struck, and there was arguments and secrets, and it was so good. I could not put that book down. So this, I'm very excited about it. I'm hoping this is as good as it sounds. So I think I'm going to give this one a go next. I've often thought about joining a book club, whether it be in person or online, but I just feel like I'd be really under a lot of pressure to finish a book, so I've never done it. There's quite a few of these pages in there, black pages I have times. There's another one. I'm excited. To give this one a go. I'll have to have a look into this one. Usually books are pretty good when they have the advertisement of a book on the front. A good girl's guide to murder is what one of the other ones is called. And then I have this one, which I did not realise was a hardback. If I realised it was hardback, I would have got it in paperback. I hate hardback books, I just do. I had a quick look, through the book, and I just hate how big the pages are and how the texts look. I just hate it. But I did not know it was hardback, it did not say. But never mind. And this one is called How to Solve Your Own Murder, and that really caught my attention because I thought that's gonna be interesting. Frances always said she'd be murdered. She was right. However, when I read you the blurb, it doesn't sound that familiar in my brain. I think it was a while ago I looked into this book and kind of forgot what it was about, apart from someone figuring out how to solve their own murder. But I am intrigued to read it. I'm looking forward to reading it. In 1965, Frances Adam was told by a fortune teller at a country fair that one day she'd be murdered. Frances spent the next 60 years trying to prevent the crime that would be her inevitable demise. Of course, no one took her seriously until she was dead. For Frances, being the village busybody was a form of insurance. She'd spent a lifetime compiling dirt on every person she met, just in case they might turn out to be her killer. In the heart of her sprawling country estate lies an eccentric library of detective work where the right person could step in and use her findings to solve her murder. When her great niece Annie arrives from London and discovers that Francis's worst fear has come true, Annie is thrust into her great aunt's last act of revenge against her sceptical friends and family. Francis will stipulates that the person who solves her murder will inherit her millions. Can Annie unravel the mystery and find justice for Francis, or will digging up the past lead her into the path of the killer? So, yeah, it sounds pretty interesting. So, this I will probably go on to read after the 5 Survive book. I also have another autobiography to read, and that is Paris Bureau's, and it's her latest one that came out like 2 years ago that I also got for Christmas and haven't read yet. I need to be in the mood to read certain books, and after I read the Christmas themed fiction book, I really fancied a kind of autobiography type book. So I started Matthew Perry's, but after that I fancy a bit of fiction. But I will read her autobiography at some point. So that is all the books that I have to show you to read, but I have one more book that I'd like to show you. It is not a book to read, it is a puzzle book, and I don't know if you've seen them before, but this is a Myrtle book, and it's got loads of little murder mystery puzzles inside of it, like whodunits. And I saw them a while ago, and I was going to get it on eBay, and I just never did. And then I walked past WH Smith's the other day and saw these in the window, and I went and got this one and also the orange one, which is based like in a university. That's where the theme lies. So basically, if you like whodunits, murder mysteries, Cluedo, you're probably going to love this. It's a little bit of what it is like. So this is one I did last night. So you get a small little bit of a story at the top. You have suspects. So you read this and they have eye colour and height and stuff like that. You have locations, and then weapons, and then you read the clues in the evidence, and basically have to tick or cross in these little boxes. So let's have a look. A gavel was nowhere near the true crime enthusiast, so that's the gavel, and you need to look who is the true crime enthusiasts, which they are, I can't even remember, down here. So you know that this was not in this location, so then you put like a cross on here. Do you know what I mean? It's really good. Some of them are really tricky and the clues don't give you much away, and that's really hard to actually work out. But these ones at the front are quite easy. They have a little one magnifying glass. The further down the book you go, the harder they become. Like this has two. And then even further down the book, you have big giant ones. So there are extra suspects. There is locations, weapons, and then all So some of them are motives on the back, and then you have a huge grid to fill out. If you get stuck, there are hints at the back which can help you, and then to check if you are right or not, there is answers at the back. But I have been doing this for the past couple of days and been really enjoying it, so I thought I would show you. Seen as though it is a book as well. So yes, that is my kind of book haul, book triggers video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again very soon.